From diversity, equity, and inclusion classes at universities to changes for school sports eligibility, it's another busy week at the Iowa legislature. Local 5's Connor O'Neill breaks down the bills lawmakers are trying to push forward.
Stephanie, it is a really busy week at the Statehouse this week because it's the second legislative funnel. So all bills, including these three you're about to hear about, need to receive approval from the chamber it was introduced in and a committee passage in the other chamber. The Senate and House will be busy this week to pass as many bills as it can before Friday to avoid key legislation from dying this session. One bill that has to be passed would make the Iowa Board of Regents create a policy for the state's public universities to not require their students to enroll in a diversity, equity, and inclusion course to complete degrees. An exemption could be granted by the board if a student's course of study is primarily focused on racial, ethnic, or gender studies. Supporters of the bill argued that DEI classes censor balanced views, while opponents said history should be taught in full. A Senate subcommittee passed the legislation on Monday, and it now just needs a full committee approval to stay alive after Friday. The Senate, for a second straight year, will consider expanding disability coverage for firefighters, police officers, and emergency medical service providers. The bill would redefine the definition of cancer to cover all types under Iowa's presumptive disability law. Only 14 of the over 200 known cancer types are currently covered. The House voted with unanimous support last week, but now the bill must pass the Senate, where it failed to advance out of last year. And lastly, the Senate is considering legislation that passed the House to allow students at private schools to participate in sports and or extracurriculars like marching bands at public schools if they live within the district's boundaries and if their private school hasn't offered that sport in the past 2 years. This bill, like the other two, passed the House earlier this month and just needs a Senate committee vote moving forward. I'm told two of those bills removing DEI requirements at universities and allowing private school students to participate in public school sports will be considered later this week to stay alive. Stephanie.